Welcome to the normal show, Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tipton, Keith Migra, myself. Hey, we had an awesome show last night. For all of you, though, if you missed it, it's being replayed. You can restream it. You can check it out. We were at the Cav Legion Lair, so that was super awesome. We had a pretty good interview with Ari, so that was pretty neat. And we got to do a lot with them.
We did. No, that was cool. I mean, we talked a lot about the show yesterday about esports and how that's becoming a really, really big deal nowadays, because not only is it a big deal in general, but people are getting paid to do this. They got millions of dollars in prizes up for like the 2K League and stuff. So, really cool interview. So if you're a Cavs fan, esports fan, whatever, go back to yesterday's show and check it out. And like he said, we're here on a Tuesday, and I can't believe we're going to do 3 shows this week. So hopefully we have enough to talk about, which Keith and I literally never stop talking on the phone. So I think we'll be okay.
I was going to say, we got enough to talk about. I mean, we're just talking. Right. Actually, it's funny because we were just talking off air for like 2 seconds before while he was setting up the stream and everything. But we were talking about all of the craziness going on the TV, going on in the world. Like, just it's crazy. You can't, like you said, you can't do anything without hearing about Markle and
Prince Harry.
And what?
Or whatever. Harry and So later on in the show, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into some NASCAR stuff. Earlier in the year, some coronavirus stuff going back to last year, because this was the beginning of the the whole deal, the pandemic last year, right around this time. And then, like he said, we're going to get into some of the Prince Harry or whatever he is, and the Duchess. I don't know what the heck you call them. I don't really care. Those people and why you see them everywhere, and also The Bachelor. Right. Last night and the finale next week. So getting into all that today.
Cool. All right, let's jump into it, man. We only got an hour, and we know that it goes by overly quick.
It does. So on the NASCAR side, it has been interesting. Yesterday, there was a comment made by Scott Miller, one of NASCAR's competition directors, looking at intentional spins. And this came from this last weekend's races. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the event that they talked about, but this brings up...
Well, real quick, I don't know what this means. I mean, I know what we talked about, but I don't know what an intentional spin means. I'm assuming. Now, hold on. Let me see if I can piece it together.
Okay.
I'm assuming it means when you purposely make someone spin out, crash, basically, or no?
Well, that would be intentionally wrecking somebody. So intentionally spinning would be spinning out your own car to cause a caution. So like you're doing it to your benefit, but I'm not going to get into this weekend what the deal was. But NASCAR has said we're now going to look further into more judgment calls if somebody has spun out by themselves on purpose or was it an accident. So what's interesting about that was there's been incidents over the last few years of where people have gotten fines or big points penalties because it is, naturally it is obstructing the flow of a race, because you're basically throwing in a caution that was not a natural caution, as you would call it, if it was a wreck or something, because you're trying to change the outcome of a race. So in the past, I think there's a deal with Bubba Wallace a few years ago. He did it, but he admitted to it, so he got fined and had points taken away. Dale Jr. did it before in the 2000s. He got fined and had some points taken away from that. So there's been big consequences. But what I want to talk about is this is NASCAR's version of kind of changing the game in there a little bit.
Sure.
But it's funny to me because NASCAR's version is so small and they do such a good job of policing, and plus most of the time it doesn't make sense to spin your car anyways.
Right.
So it's interesting because you have that. But in other sports like the NFL, there used to be a big deal. I don't know if you remember this, Keith, but people faking injuries, when it was within the right outside the 2-minute warning, so it wouldn't have a timeout taken away.
Right.
Like they'd see one guy go down and like Ocho Cinco be holding his knee and like, oh my gosh, it hurts. And then he'd like stumble off the field. Then 2 plays later, he's back in totally fine. And then the NBA, which is a lot of problems now with flopping, of course.
Right. And that's a huge problem. I hate watching the NBA when they do that. Like, I get it. Like, it's part of the game. It's just like baseball. I guess there's certain things that every sport has. But, man, flopping in basketball is like, it's a pet peeve of mine. Like, I can't watch it. I stopped watching basketball for a certain amount of time just because I couldn't stand the flop. Like, it bothered me.
I feel like you'd be good at the flop, though.
Oh, I would be fantastic, dude. I would be at that line every single game, like 7 or 8 times. Like, I would get people to fall out because I would be a flopper. Like, that would be my – but the thing is, like, so I watched LeBron James, who is like, I watched some of the highlights of his flopping highlight.
Yeah, flopping highlights.
Like, dude, I gotta tell you something. Like, when I would watch him do that, like the guy would barely brush his shoulder. You know what I mean? Like barely, yeah. And he would just, dude, it looked like he got shot from like 50 miles out with a 50 cal. You know what I mean? Like this dude like threw his body out, fell on the ground. Like it, I'm not into it, man. Like I don't like that part of the sport. But I get what you're saying. Every sport has that, you're not trying hard enough if you're not trying to find loopholes. You know what I mean? Like you need to find loopholes. You're trying to win. I get it. I understand that. But flopping, I think, is the most ridiculous thing in any sport.
Oh my gosh,
blows my mind.
It's funny to me because 2K has like a flop thing on it, where you can actually hit a button to flop and see if you can get a call on it, based off of our conversation yesterday. But yeah, it's crazy. So. It's not something that you see very often in NASCAR, because normally you see guys taking each other out, and that's self-policing in a way, because if you wreck somebody, expect them to do something to you, either that race or maybe it's 10 races down the road, that kind of a deal. But this is the first time this has been brought up in a while. So it'll be interesting to see how they police that and how that goes forward. But, hey, at least they're coming out and saying that they're going to support, the efforts to try and make judgment calls on it. And I don't always love judgment calls, but fair is fair, and you got to do what you got to do to keep the sport going the right way.
No, right. I understand that, but to me it just seems like, especially when it's over exaggerated.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
But the NBA is different though, because that happens now every game. This is once in maybe 2 or 3 years this happens. So
which is pretty crazy if you think about it.
It is. Yeah, but I mean NBA, like, it's flop, 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 flop. Now I love basketball, but I don't know when the flopping. I want to know the pioneer of flopping. I want to go find who that person was.
I guess if you dig deep enough, you could probably find it. You can probably figure it out, I would imagine.
We need like Marv Albert to come on our show and go get some flopping stats for us.
Oh my God! Real quick, Crystal Jason said, "Hey guys, just got some people in the chat wanted to talk to me. If you guys aren't in the chat, jump in. We like to read chat interaction. Kind of what we were. I don't know. We like it. We enjoy it, right?"
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you can read all of them. I can't read them. So Keith reads off the good stuff. So make it interesting for us.
The good stuff. If you're watching this through Twitter, feel free to tweet some comments in there and ask Matt or myself questions, and we will definitely shout them out.
For sure.
Man, so what else we got?
Well, I was looking back through some stuff today, and one of the NASCAR beat reporters, Jeff Gluck, I don't know if beat reporter is the right term, but one of the NASCAR reporters, Jeff Gluck, tweeted out today a 1 year ago article that he put out. And this was going to Phoenix Raceway, where I'm going to this weekend for our race.
Right.
And it was an article asking drivers about how they were preparing for event. This was not when it was called COVID, not yet, like everybody referred to it as coronavirus at the time. So they said, how are you comfortable feeling with coronavirus going into this weekend's race? And so it was an interview of the drivers saying, well, this week I'm holding my own Sharpie. And of course, fans were still everywhere. But with that being said, it was talking about, maybe some drivers were like, yeah, I got to be way more careful because we travel all across the country. Some guys didn't do anything different. Some were like trying to really keep people away from them walking around the garage area. So it was interesting, though, because it's such a weird time to look back on, because I was on a cruise. And so I didn't know any of this was going on. So I didn't have my phone on me. So we come back and I'm like, the hell just happened here?
That had to be kind of panicky if you think about it, man. Could you imagine not knowing what was going on and then come back to the country?
No, that's what happened. Like, I knew that there's more Purell stations than we realized there should have been. But looking back, we had no clue what was about to happen. Wow. And the next week was the week that they shut down their cruise, that they quarantined their cruises, like everything like that. And we had no clue any of this was going on. So we left Miami. Everything's all good. They're playing songs, music. People are waving off the dock. Come back. COVID. Like, what just happened? So I think it's interesting to look back now. And there's so many stories coming out because, of course, it's March. We've been in March for like 5 years now. And it's so weird to look at how much society has changed, how much professional sports has changed. We'll never know if it ever goes back to normal completely. I mean, it always will look a little bit different, I feel like. But it's so cool to see that article to kind of be retrospecting. I don't know what the word is, but to go look at what things were going on last year. People going, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, I am worried, whatever. And then the next week was when all the races got canceled for months, and we all went to the serious quarantine. But man, what a time. I remember we were watching, I was just watching a basketball game. I forget what game it was.
Right.
I remember just sitting there on TV, and all of a sudden the officials play the come out and blow the whistle dead. They like escort all the players off the court because somebody tested positive for COVID in the locker room. Like, it was the mess, like just absolute pandemonium. And that was like the beginning of the whole deal. And here we are still, battling with it. But I just remember those moments as, wow, like this is absolutely crazy. And the team's even going to Atlanta, where we go in a week and a half here. People were on the way to Atlanta and had to turn the trucks around because the race got canceled on the way to Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about like Corona stuff. So, okay, I'm not saying we're talking about, but you were said it's kind of a neat thing to like look back on. Man, I remember what happened. I watched. I'm like, man, okay, people are getting sick. Then I watched it spread. By the time it got here, I still never panicked, man. And I got to be honest with you, like I got it, I had it, and it wasn't nearly as bad as everybody said it was. But because I have underlying conditions. I have, diabetes, and my dad had cancer, so everybody was worried about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I never panicked. I never, of course we got food. We made sure we had enough food in case stores, but like I didn't go out and buy.
Oh, and the toilet paper. Holy crap!
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't go out and buy 50,000 rolls of freaking toilet paper. Like, I'm not an idiot. I went and bought food. In fact, me and Tyler had this conversation a long time ago when this was going down. It's like, Can you believe the things, like the essential things that people didn't buy, but they bought like massive amounts of toilet paper, and like all the canned food was still there. Everything was still there.
Still there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand. I really don't. I didn't get it. And I still don't get it. Like, I get it. We're in a panic. I don't know, dude. To me, I look at it differently, and people think I'm an idiot for the way I look at it. I just don't believe it was as bad as it was. We didn't do this for the flu or influenza. So I don't know. You said, is it ever going to get back to normal? No, it's not. It's not going to get back to normal because people are still panicking.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Obviously I've had people that have had it. I had it before, never put that publicly out, but it's interesting because the pandemonium in the grocery stores and all that. I remember my wife going, "Oh my gosh, we need milk and eggs." And it's the same conversation we had anytime it snowed in Charlotte, because, Keith, you're in Ohio, but in Charlotte, if there's a threat of snow, all the milk and eggs is off the shelves. Like, no question asked, like, it's gone. And I remember saying one time, because we're on keto, so we don't eat a lot of foods people eat. We eat eggs, but I remember her saying one time, "Oh my gosh, like, we got to go buy milk and eggs." I'm like, we don't even eat milk and eggs. Like, why? Why would we need milk and eggs?
I don't know, Matt. All right, so I got to hit the chat room though before we go in any more. So first, guys, I want you to check out the Teespring, check out the merch store. It's kind of everything we have. Check out our Patreon. Subscribe to that if you guys want to, if you guys can. Pass it around. Share this, share this video on Twitter everywhere. Share this on Facebook everywhere if you can. We're going to be doing some giveaways in the next coming weeks, I do believe, as we do have some decently lined guests coming up. So that'll be pretty neat. Outside of that, Noah McPeak says, is Front Row Motorsports a team on your radar as competition?
That's a good question. So what I immediately would say is no, but they are the next step up. And what's cool about them, I got to race for them in 2019. That is a team that we kind of look at as the stepping stones that they took to become a competitive team. They just won the Daytona 500. That's freaking awesome for them. Very happy for them. But the stepping stones that they have taken to become a competitive team, and sometimes they're top 15, top 20 team, not necessarily a winning team, sure, but that is the way that we look at Team Live Fast or Live Fast Motorsports, to be able to make those stepping stones over the next few years. So are they direct competition right now? No, not really. They're a few years ahead of us, but that being said, down the road, we would like to be where they're at. And that's a goal of ours, to keep on getting better.
Okay, so for me being obviously new to the whole NASCAR scene in a sense, why are they not competition now?
It has to go with the amount of people they have. They have more engineering support and staff there. We just don't have that. We don't have the budget for it yet. So they've gotten some really, really big and helpful partners over there. And we're developing and starting our own partnerships with companies now, some awesome companies and relationships and people we're working with. But that being said, they've been around for, I believe, 10 or 12 years now. So we're going through all the new growing pains and all that kind of stuff now. They've been through that for a long time. But then beyond that, it has to do with just the fact that they do have a little bit more funding that helps the cars go. And I've told Keith this a few times, but in NASCAR, the way you get faster is by the amount of wind tunnel time you have, the amount of the quality of the motors you have, all that kind of stuff goes into it. So while we try to do the best that we can at the highest level we can, our budget takes us to a certain point. So that's why when I say we're not a winning team, we're trying to be 25th to 30th as a goal each week. That's what it is. And honestly, you look at the front row cars. Michael McDowell has done an incredible job in that car, in the 34 car. But Anthony Alfredo being a rookie in the 38 car, we can be close to him on track, but we're still speed-wise, we're still just off of where they are. So it maybe by the end of the season we get closer, but for right now, not direct competition yet. So maybe by next year, you never know.
So something that kind of made me laugh a little bit. It was my twin's birthday yesterday. Actually, you kind of called in.
You have a twin?
What?
You said you have your twin's birthday. You have a twin?
My children.
You didn't say your children. You said your twin.
Children, twins. Twin children, kids that I created and own. What?
I just want to make sure we cleared that up for the viewers because I don't know if I have a different co-host on here from time to time.
No, you probably do. It depends on what side of me you get. But no, if anyways, you called in, you called me and wished my twins a happy birthday. But something that was funny was I said that they wanted to be NASCAR drivers, and you're like, oh yeah, we could train them up. Something that I think is really, really cool that NASCAR has that not a lot of that I don't think a lot of sports have is that I know everybody has a mentor in baseball or football or whatever, but you and BJ's relationship, I didn't realize until I started diving into it that you guys actually have that mentor-student relationship, and then you guys this happened. So I mean, but if you really think about it, it's really cool how your story came out. And as I was reading the article, I think you did an interview. I can't remember where it was for. To be honest with you, I didn't really look at it. I just saw the headline, so I read it. And it's really cool story how you and BJ became friends and then partners. It wasn't even that at first. It was basically student, teacher, friends. Now you're partners. And I think that is the neatest thing ever. I think NASCAR. It's like if I really wanted to pursue my children being a NASCAR driver, I have an in with that. And it's not, and I don't mean through you. I mean, there are places that will help you do that. And I think that the sport needs to carry stuff like that on. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, no, actually, the way I met him was going to the Finish Line Racing School when I was 12 years old. So I had to figure out how to drive a stick shift the day before. So I'm in this old Saturn Review trying to figure out, or Saturn something or other. It's like an old 80s car. And I was trying to figure out how to drive a stick shift. So I couldn't really drive the stick very well. But I was 12 years old, and he was a teacher down there. And, we got going and was one of the best in class and talked afterwards and ran speed weeks with him. And the rest is kind of history as time went on. But, yeah, it's funny because we started as the teacher and student relationship thing there.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, we became friends. Then he was a groomsman for me. And then all of a sudden we're, business partners together. So it's cool because I don't think either of us could deal with either of us if it was a different person. So it's a good thing that it's us dealing with us.
But, okay, so let's, it's the same thing how we kind of became friends, partners, and now here we are. We're doing a lot of different things, acting, we're doing TV shows together, all this other stuff. So it's really cool how that developed. But something that I don't think the fans know, like if you're a NASCAR fan, dedicated hardcore NASCAR fan, of course you know this. But if you're someone like me or some of the other people that we do have now tuning in just to hear, kind of your take on it or hot takes or whatever you want to talk about with NASCAR, if you really get down to it, there's many opportunities for you as a I mean, I'm sure there's an age limit or cutoff or something, but there's a lot of opportunities to go out there and attempt to be a NASCAR driver through many different series. I think that's amazing. How do you suggest, like, if someone wanted to pursue their career, what would you suggest to them?
For myself, I started go-kart racing. So a lot of people start when they're literally 5 years old. And to be honest,
my kids are 6 now.
Yeah, no, seriously, this would be the time to start like telling them to go into go-karting. Like, this is the time.
So how do I do that? I mean, honestly, what do I do? I mean, how do I?
Yeah, well, you'd look for a local. You'd look at go-kart racing in Northeast Ohio, and you'd find a track by. More than likely, it'll be like Barberton or Thompson, something like that. Is where I started. Mm-hmm. And but same thing for people who want to go, start their kids in something. It's that, or it's Bandolero cars, or it's, Legends cars. They're all kind of like where people start their careers at, and then as they go on, you either go to the dirt route or the road course route or the open wheel route. So you do go-karts. You do those things I mentioned, and then you decide: do I want to be in NASCAR? Do I want to be in Indy car? Should I be in dirt racing, or should I just continue go-kart racing, just do it as a hobby? I mean, there's no wrong answer. It's just whatever you want to do.
Sure, which I think is amazing. Crystal Johnson says, "Buy them go-karts, birthday presents." Good. I hope my kids aren't watching that.
That was my 11th birthday present was a go-kart.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, maybe Uncle Tiff can get them go-karts. How you like that? It's better than Uncle Pepe. He told my kids to call him that. It was bad. Like, I told them they couldn't call us. They just call him Peyton Hill.
It sounds like he's got to go to the bathroom.
It does. It sounds.
In some accent.
It sounds.
I don't know what accent, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It is.
Yeah.
So like, let's say I get my kids involved and I say, hey, let's go to the track, whatever. I find the place you were talking about. What are the next steps? Am I basically reaching out to anybody, or am I just? I mean, so here's the thing. When I played baseball, my coach handled that. You know what I mean? My coach reached out to D3 schools. My coach reached out to to the athletics. That's what he reached out to. He did that. So I guess is there a coach? I mean, would I take the role as coach? Would I find a coach? What? I mean, how do you? There's so much. There has to be a lot that gets into it. You know what I mean?
My dad was the role of coach and tuner for the go-kart for about 3 races before he put on the tire backwards one time. Then he realized he put on the tire backwards. And so we went and found a coach. So there's driving coaches around everywhere. The other cool thing about the racing community is you'll find it's a very small, tight-knit community too. So people point you the right direction once you get in the door. Okay. But yeah, it's very cool because, a lot of people don't know where to go. And so I think that's where it starts at the level of go-karting. You have classes that you move up, just like gymnastics or something like age groups and that kind of stuff that you move up through. But past that, it's a lot of just knowing and networking in there. But when you move from like go-karts to late models or like full-size stock cars, or maybe it's F2000 cars, which is like open wheel stuff for like Formula One or IndyCar.
Sure.
Then you start reaching out to contacts there and see who you know in common. But nowadays it's easier than when I did it because there is social media. There are outlets to go find that. So you look for karting clubs, look for dirt racing clubs, whatever it may be, and typically there'll be someone in there who has a school, who has a connection, maybe has a team. And even if you don't race for them, maybe they can point you in the right direction is the best advice I can give.
Sure. So someone in Twitter said, hey, Matt, how you doing? His name is Seth Rawls 251. And then he put, and Keith. He's my new favorite guy. Look at that.
Wow.
I'm getting some recognition finally.
I appreciate give yourself a round of applause, man. That's awesome.
Well, you're a dick. Not going to give myself a round of applause.
I was actually being nice to you for
once. You were not. You were making fun of me. That was sarcastic as sarcastic could be.
No, I swear I was being nice. I'm sorry.
Hey, let's take a quick break. It's already 7:30. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I do want to talk about the Royals because I haven't seen. Dude, this is what you tell me before we go on. You're like, man, you can't turn the TV on without hearing or seeing this. I've seen nothing about it. I've heard nothing about it. Did you understand? I don't watch TV anymore. Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about it.
I didn't see it on TV until I saw it on my phone. Then I was casually turning on the TV. I'm like, okay, that's a new channel. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It was nuts. Like it was like they were, I don't even know. It was just everywhere. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Right. And some other stuff going on around the world.
Seth Rawls 251 says, speaking of being pointed in the right direction, any chance you could give me some tips? he's getting an internship this summer with the industry. So that's pretty cool. Maybe you can tweet something out at him.
Yeah, very nice. No, that's awesome, man. Just learn as much as you can, network with as many people as you can. You never know what part of NASCAR you want to be involved in. So just do anything you can to keep on putting your name out there and get a, obviously get a LinkedIn profile helps a lot in the industry. So just do little things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's maybe not take a break right now.
Okay.
Let's maybe talk about some other stuff.
Okay. We can not take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break in like 5 minutes. Let's go into the Royals. You want to go into Royals or you want to go into Bachelor?
We'll hit the Royals after break. So
okay.
I want to hit the Bachelor for a second because I know Keith was making fun of me last night because
I was not making fun of you.
Okay,
totally. Well, Jaron Fast says, "What's up?"
Hello, what's up?
He said, what's up?
But it's funny to me because this is like the number one trending thing every single Monday when it comes out, and so there's been. It's been COVID Bachelor, which is very different. So my wife and I we watched that. The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. We watched the whole deal now. And it's interesting because there's been so much stuff going on because the girl Rachel, who supposedly wins it or something like that, she's in the final 3 or something. And so there's a racist thing that she did that came out in the public. Then Chris Harrison said something that was bad about it. So you're watching this whole cast and now they're all in trouble for everything. And then the main guy in it was just very strange to me last night. So his name is Matt. And so they did a whole episode of him like with the final 3 girls, and it was very weird. So my wife and I are watching it, and he brings in to the show his dad, who he supposedly has never had a very close relationship with or a conversation with him. So they go at each other, and it's not like scripted. Like it is them going at each other about why he was never there for him as a kid, and like why he cheated on his mom, and like all this stuff. And like the guys are crying on TV, and I just have a problem with that. I understand if you have that conversation in public, but Keith, I don't know what your take on this is, but I mean, I have a great relationship with my dad, but even if I did not, I would not take him to ABC to come have that conversation in front of the entire world to say you are a piece of crap dad because you weren't around, you cheat on mom. Like, why would you do that on national television to go junk this dude's name?
I mean, did I have a great relationship with my dad growing up? No, but I was a punk-ass teenager too. So a lot of the stuff that I believe me and my dad had issues with were probably internal. It was probably me. Do you know what I mean? It was probably me being a rebel. I wanted to do my own thing. They didn't want to do it. But no, I don't think there's a time or place to bring somebody on publicly and scorn them.
Right.
But you got to remember, this is all scripted crap. Like, I don't have a problem with The Bachelor. I just don't watch it. I don't watch it because I feel like it's way too scripted. It's way too much garbage. And, I get why people are attracted to that kind of thing. But
I do enjoy garbage TV. I will say that.
I don't know. My problem is that, like, it's hard for me to want to care because I know it's all made up. You know what I mean? Like, how much of what that guy said was true? You know, was there actually internal conflict? Was there actually a fight? Was there actually a pushed off relationship or an abandoned relationship or whatever you want to call it with their dad? I don't know. You know what I mean? Did ABC do it? Yeah. Who knows?
Well, that goes to my next point. So we're watching this, and he's in fantasy suites week, which basically means he goes and sleeps, hangs out, then sleeps with the girls at night. Then they do the next one the next day, the next one the next day. Like it's just bang, 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 literally. And so I don't understand this being The Bachelor. So most of the guys or the Bachelorettes that are the girls on there, they are pretty good about being actually connected with the people that they're on the show with. This dude gives the same script to every girl, has the same conversation with every girl on there. And beyond that, so I don't know, this one girl who ends up off the show, her name is Brie. She ends up going off the show and she gave up her entire career, not just her job, but her career that she went to school for. And they said, if you go onto this show, you will not be hired back on them. I am sorry. But if I'm going on a show where there are 30 guys fighting for one girl, in the opposite shoes, I am not going to go quit my career to go on this for a guy that may or may not like me and then be upset at the end of it. I mean, why would you do that? You can go on Tinder.
You can go on Tinder. That's all right. Let's maybe not take dating advice from Matt right now, but you're right.
I met my wife on Tinder.
Why would you put yourself in that position to make. Listen, I get trying to do anything for fame. Like, we had a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of fun doing what we do. I just don't think I'd ever want to compete with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I already hate competition the way it is. If someone wants something I have, it's just going to make me more pissed. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to go in there feeling like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what's wrong with society. Can we agree that The Bachelor is what's wrong with society? And Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. These are not, these things, like, listen, where's Crystal Jason? There they are. Crystal Jason, they have a joint Facebook account. Do you want to know why they have a joint Facebook account? I'm going to tell you why they have a joint Facebook account.
Well, why is that?
Oh, let's get down to it. Because neither one of them want to have to deal with them having separate accounts. They both know what's going in. They both know the messages coming out. I'm telling you, that is the only reason you have a joint account. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, like, social media, dude, social media can kill a relationship like this. But it's because of the shows like The Bachelor. Like, dude,
absolutely.
And like Temptation Island, or whatever the hell it was called. Dude, like, those are
the worst thing ever.
That
is horrible.
Like, dude, they're relationship killers. It teaches you that it's okay. Go be with 65 women at one time. You're going to get the HIV, man. Like, I don't know if ABC actually stuck them with something to see if they have the HIV, but I don't think I'd want to be in a room full of 30 women. And I don't think, if I was a woman, would that make you more attracted to someone, knowing that literally last night they just did an interview with somebody, and as you said, they just banged it out? Like, that's not something that is interesting. That's not something I want.
It's hilarious to watch, but I'm so glad you brought up that point, though, for the was it the Temptation Island thing? So why in the world would you, in a serious relationship, obviously not married, but maybe they are married on the show. I've only seen like 2 episodes, but we had this conversation at BJ's house in Florida when I was down there shooting some content the other week. And
I saw that, by the way. It was very, 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 very good.
Thank you.
I thought when you fell off your jet ski to grab the thing.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Yeah, shut up.
Okay,
but anyways, we were talking about that. And what is the casting call for that thing? Are you in a troubled relationship and want to go meet other people and get your other significant other get pissed off at you just so you can feel miserable and go bang another dude or bang another chick? Come on this show.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Crystal Jason said, see, exactly, no drama. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you take Snapchat, right, what is Snapchat's only purpose? I mean, let's just be honest. What is Snapchat's only purpose? To take pictures and so stuff gets deleted so no one else can see them. Am I wrong?
Until they figured out the screenshot button about 4 years ago. Then it's bad.
Well, right, but that's what I mean. Like, that's Snapchat's whole thing. What is Twitter?
To express yourself? What do you mean?
No, but that's the thing is you can say the same thing about Snapchat then. Snapchat is just to express yourself. No, dude, social media has but the thing is it started with like crap like The Bachelor and Temptation Island and all this stuff where it looks cool to do what they did. You said what is their casting call? What are their requirements? Big boobs, tight butt, and a slut. That's literally what it is.
I mean, for like the relationship, like, are you in a undecided, or maybe you're thinking about your relationship and want to see if having 5 people interject in is a good idea? Well, then maybe we can create a fairy tale story for you. Like, what do you tell your kids? Oh yeah, we went on Temptation Island and your dad slept with 2 other girls, but I loved them so much that we worked it out.
And that's what society finds is entertaining. Did you realize that we as humans, we love drama, right? Like, we love it, especially if it's not happening to us. If it's not an inner drama. But there are some people who feed off drama, who love it, who have to have it, have to constantly push that envelope. But if you look at, like, us as humans, of course we want to see some stuff that's messed up. I want to see that. I want to see exactly what you just said happen to someone else. Because it's funny. I mean, it's funny.
And so it goes back to The Bachelor. Like, the whole thing is supposed to be, oh, it's so romantic, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, okay, when is it? So if you were in a normal world, and this guy, I mentioned Tinder, play your own version of The Bachelor. You're a guy, and you go match with 30 girls. You go out on dates with them, and they find out that one has another, like another girl went out with them. Like, it's bad. So do your own version. It's not going to be, you're not getting paid to do it on TV. But I find that hilarious though, because everybody that watched the show loves it, think it's so sweet, it's so romantic. No, it is not. Like one or like 3 out of like 50 people on that show that have been the Bachelor or Bachelorette have actually made it because guess what? They're dating 30 other people on average.
The only thing is, hold on, while we're talking, there's another show. It's like a speed or Who Did I Marry? Or I don't remember. But it was a show that you don't see the person until
Married at First Sight.
That's it. Why do you know that?
I have a wife.
I'm sorry. Dude, but listen, I don't understand that. How the hell are you going to marry someone without seeing? Dude, that's nuts. That is physically insane to do. And they're making ratings off of it. And then they want to know what the hell's wrong with the generation? You're marrying people you've never met before. Like, dude, that takes marriage to a whole nother ridiculousness, right? Like,
yes.
People already say marriage is dumb. But now it's really stupid when you literally meet someone for, well, I don't even remember what the whole show concept is. I just know that they never saw each other.
No, I remember. Because I watched it last year during quarantine because I was bored, and Jordan and I were watching it. I believe, I could be wrong, so if you guys have seen it, let us know. But I believe it is, you see the person, you have to marry them, but you have 30 days to work it out or not before it becomes null or annulled or whatever. So I think that's the deal, is that you see them, you get married, and you have 30 days to work it out. And if you don't, you're done. So
it's asinine.
It is.
This
is
an asinine concept for a TV show, but we watch it. We consume that garbage.
Absolutely.
But then we can't figure out what the hell's wrong with our kids. This is why we're feeding them garbage.
Hang on. You mentioned your kids earlier, and you're saying you can't figure out what's wrong with your kids. So are you feeding them this garbage at home, Keith?
Yes. I'm part of the problem. No, I
just want to make sure.
I'm part of the problem. Because that shit's funny. You know what I mean? Like when you watch it, you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely insane. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can't even figure out how there's ratings for it. You can't figure out how this physically became.
But yet you are watching it, aren't you?
Right. I'm telling you, I'm part of the problem. I really am. So Jaron Fest says the only show I thought that was decent was, I don't know, Tyler's scrolling, was 90 Day Fiance.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like that one that much. There's too much time for them to figure it out.
It just blows my mind. It makes me mad.
You know what show I do like though, and I have a friend who I should get her on this show because on our show because she was on this show, and that is Survivor. I like Survivor.
Yeah, your friend was on Survivor.
Yeah, so I know someone who's on Survivor. Maybe we'll get her on a show on the show sometime. But I think Survivor is cool because it is the ultimate. They started by saying it is the ultimate social experiment. Yes, it is, because you have everybody who does not know each other that has to go live literally and not even know how to make fire for the first day until they have to go spear a fish and then cook it and boil water together.
Is true.
That's so they
dude, I don't think Survivor's true at all. I don't think they have. It's all scripted.
No, they say that one is not.
Oh, so, come on.
Well, let's have her on the show and we'll ask her.
She can't answer that. She's probably getting paid from it still.
Hey, I will tell you from sources besides her that I know from that one is actually real.
So you're telling me Survivor?
Yeah,
the original Castaway program. Like we're talking like way before Bear Grylls, way before all this.
It's still on, but yes.
You're telling me that Survivor's actually real, that they don't help these people out?
Only if they need actual medical attention, they will.
So you're screwed. So basically, Survivor, you're on an island and you're just figuring this out.
Yep.
You're castawayed.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know if I could buy that. I don't know. I'm
sorry. You can go look it up. Like people, it is one of the most true ones. Now there are certain parts where like when they go to tribal council, sometimes they'll drive them there because they can't get them in time. But they're not allowed to interact with the crews, and they're not allowed to give them food, that kind of stuff. So. That is. It's not like Bear Grylls where he goes, "Oh, I've been out here. I'm eating. I'm drinking fish blood." Then he goes back to the Marriott, and then he has a 5-course dinner, and then he comes back. I'm back in the same spot. I haven't moved. I got to move camp tomorrow with my sat-nav phone. Like, no, that's not true.
It's gonna be like the hunting show.
Maybe.
No, it is. Because I'm going to be like, oh, look we just shot this giant deer. And in reality, it's me pointing a gun, but Hillis is behind me pointing it, shooting at it because they know I'm not going to be able to hit anything. Dude,
I'll be on the phone in the back of the golf cart.
This is what pisses me off, right? We're doing a hunting show. We're filming. Everything is great. Everything is fantastic. I'm in Arkansas. I can shoot a freaking snake in the head from 50 yards away with a 45. I can't hit an armadillo with an AR-15 with a full clip in it or a full magazine in it from 2 feet away. I've been trying to shoot this thing for weeks. Every time I go back to it's my nemesis. Every time I go back to Arkansas, there is one armadillo. And they're rodents over there. They cause all kinds of hell on the property, but I hate it. I hate this armadillo. And I wanted to get it like we know this guy named Turi, and he was gonna throw a quick he was gonna taxiderm it or whatever. But dude, I could not hit this thing to save my life. But that's what the hunting show is. That's what I'm talking about. Like how much of this stuff is actually real when it comes to Survivor, or even when it comes to The Bachelor or 90 Days in Love with somebody you've never met or whatever the hell that crap title is.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, how much of it is actually true? Dude, we've been in the industry now.
I know. I mean, you can tell on The Bachelor that they stage people in there to like be instigators because there's no way that they're on the show, Bachelor or Bachelorette. They're like the one ugly dude who's fighting with everybody in there. They're like, they put that guy in there. Like, they told them to keep them on the show. Dude, like, they definitely did that.
100%. All right, should we take a quick break? You just want to roll it?
Let's take a quick break because I need some water. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about more entertainment stuff that we cannot stop talking about, which apparently is everybody today. So we're jumping on the bandwagon and talking about the Royals when we come back to close out the show.
Good.
Not the Kansas City ones.
Life in the fast lane, not sellouts. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Not yet.
Welcome back to Life in the Fast Lane with myself and Matt Tift. A royal mess. We've had a good show, man.
Royal mess. Yeah, no, it's been fun. This show has not been a royal mess, but we're going to talk about one.
I mean, I guess define royal mess. I don't know.
It's been like a presidential mess because royal is like above that. So
royal's above president. We fought a war so that I never had to hear that.
I don't remember that war. That's like, before I was born.
I don't even know how to respond to that. But okay.
I almost thought you were frozen for a second.
You did. You broke me. 17. Just
nailed it.
Royal wedding. Why should I care about this? We literally fought a war not to give a damn. But go ahead.
All right, we're not going to give a damn. We're going to talk about the crap that's in our faces every day now. So, big Oprah interview. I have not heard the name Oprah in years, other than you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, or like Keith's production company. You got a podcast. You get a podcast. You get a podcast.
You get a podcast.
Here we are. I have a podcast. Thank you, Oprah Keith.
You should call me Oprah Keith. Good. I'm hashtag Keith_Hillis_Oprah.
Oprah's bestie. Keith Winfrey. Is that better?
No. Oh, God. It's even worse. I hate it. Oh, no. All right, go ahead. Let's talk about what Oprah did with her. Wasn't there an issue with her shoes?
I don't know. I didn't see that part, apparently. What was the issue with her shoes?
I don't know. There's like a buckle on it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, so I turned on my phone this morning. I didn't know what was going on. I knew that Prince Harry and whatever, what's her name, Meghan. So she was an actress in the States. She was on Degrassi, and then I think Suits, something like that. And then all of a sudden, she marries.
She was on Degrassi.
Yeah,
with Drake.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So then she marries into the royal family. Now, Harry, what's interesting about him is he is the son of Prince Diana. So, yeah. So what's interesting about her is she was the one speaking out about the pressure and all the crap going on of being a royal family member.
And then she died.
Yes, she did. But enter Harry and now his wife, Meghan, being the Dutch and Sussex of whatever the heck I don't know how to explain any of it. So they leave the royal family, a giant, crazy deal. We all heard about a year or two ago on every news station, And so this week they do an interview, or maybe yesterday, with Oprah. So CBS pays a pretty penny to go do this thing. It got 11 million views just for an interview, a sit-down interview, 11 million views, like almost the Super Bowl. Anyways, so they go through and they're talking about how the royal family is a freaking mess, how they are terrible to them, blah, blah, blah. But then they get to saying that apparently they were worried about, the royal family was worried about the fact that because she's mixed, that the baby would be too brown for them. And I'm thinking, how in the world can you be the royal family and not in 2021 and not be smart enough to not say that thing, because you already know that they hate you or don't like the family. Then you go on to say that, you are entering yourself into a pit of misery and trouble.
Where the hell's cancel culture? We cancel the royal family. Cancel them.
Cancel Britain.
Cancel Britain. Right?
I mean, it is.
Could you imagine that?
Insane, though. I mean, it is insane. Like,
we did cancel Britain in 1776. Never mind.
That was the year. Yes, I remember.
That was Tyler's joke. I just reiterated it, but I thought it was very good.
I remember that year very well. But anyways, it is just crazy to me that they're talking about like they wanted her to be 50% the personality. The girl is a famous actress on Suits, on Degrassi, all this stuff. Then she goes and marries the royal family. Of course she has clout, and then go, you can't be more famous than us. So they started that way. Then they started telling me what you can and can't wear, which I get, the royals can do that. But then beyond that, then it's just a complete shit show between them saying, oh, you can't have, like she's going, I didn't have the right color red for my, for this party and blah, blah, blah. And they're saying she's an absolute insane person. And then she's going, they're saying that they're being racist about my baby. Like, what in the world has happened over there? Like, they have lost their minds.
You mean the place that used to kill people for being witches and oppress freedom and tax people? You mean those people are they lost their minds just with this, right?
You mean Salem, Massachusetts?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like the British, dude. I mean, if you look at the royal family over years, and I don't pay attention to them, the Queen's somehow still alive, but every now and again, I want to pop up with like just a picture of George Washington, just to see if we can scare her. Boo! You know what I mean? Like just see what happens, dude. I know this sounds bad.
Oh wait, it's George Washington.
I know, I know this sounds
bad. The Snapchat
bad.
George Washington filter works on her. It just looks the same.
Well, yeah, dude, because that queen is still the same one that like. How old is she, dude?
Well, they're all Queen Elizabeth. I don't get that part, but they're all Queen Elizabeth.
They have to be. Like, dude, she makes Betty White look like a high schooler.
Like, well, Betty White is 99 or 100 now. So I mean, and Betty White still looks better.
Oh God, yeah, Betty White's definitely.
You would think that as a royal,
huh?
Go ahead.
The Queen looks like a lizard. Like I'm not talking conspiracy theory like lizard people. She just looks like a lizard.
No, it's just observation. Yes, but if you are the Queen of England, literally in history, that holds so much stuff, and you look like what? Get her some Botox. I mean, come on.
You know how much dude, it would kill her. Like if you to put Botox to put her skin, it's the same thing if we put Nancy Pelosi there. Like you know, like you'd have to like stretch. It would look like the thing off Beetlejuice. You'd have to like stretch it out. Too much.
I think we should. Oh my gosh, somebody go do a graphic design of Democrats and Republicans and do like a Botox after things like Mitch McConnell just like said the smile was going, and then Nancy Pelosi doing it. It would be awesome. Oh my gosh, somebody do that, please. Like both sides. I don't want it to be political like either side, but just do it for the whole board of everybody. That would be awesome.
But so like here's my question. Like Meghan Markle, like I watched Suits a lot. I didn't know she was into Degrassi, but I watched Suits a lot, and I thought it was a super good show. I think she's a great actress. But can I ask you a question? Like when all of this happened, she knew what she was getting into. Like she knew that. I mean, she was getting into the royals. Like, you knew that. Well, you don't have the right to complain if you know what you're getting yourself into.
I don't think you do until it was so bad that she became suicidal in there. So, I mean, it must. I feel like you understand the role and stuff you take on, but I mean, nobody has exposed the royal family since Prince Harry's mom, Prince Diana. Or Princess Diana. So nobody has exposed that the way they have now. Plus, nobody has been a big enough figure outside of the immediate family to say, the stuff's bad here. Like, this is real bad.
No, and I'm sure there is a lot of stuff that goes on with those freaks. I mean, if you really want to, because they're all, dude, if you look at back in history, or you look at what's going on now, dude, they're like the royal bloodline is disgusting. Like, I mean, it just is. And I don't like it. I don't pay attention, but I don't pay attention to that crap because I'm a freaking American. I don't give a damn what happens in England.
But she is an American, so this is like the first American going into their deal.
Still not my problem. I mean, like,
well, I know it's not your problem, but
it's not. She bounced. She left. Like, she went in there for 20 minutes and said, screw this, I don't want it, and decided that she liked, wanted to come. Did they move to Canada?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
What the hell? They're not American. I mean, okay, so she was born in America. I want you to think about this. She was born in America, married into royalty, screwed that up, and then moved to Canada.
But did she screw it up, or did Prince Harry screw it up? Because I feel like he had just as much. Because if you're the dude in the spot there, that's from the royal family lineage, there, you have a pretty big responsibility of getting stuff straightened out somehow in that deal to make it right. So either he didn't do a good enough job, or she was crazy, or the royal family, which I'm sure was the case, was just that bad. I mean, I love the fact that he was on. But they're talking about the Royals now, the Netflix or whatever show it is on. Yeah. The Royals, the show itself, that's gotten so much popularity now and won a bunch of awards because it was exposing how bad it is in the royalty and the palace or whatever the heck you call it over there, not Parliament.
Well, Crystal,
it's crazy. It's crazy in 2021 that is still a thing to me and that they hold any weight.
What do you mean? They don't. I mean, okay, yeah, they do, but not over here. I mean, honestly, like they even over there, they don't get. Does it carry any weight?
They don't matter over here. This is the number one thing talked about all week.
That's because we're stupid. We just got done talking about how Americans love watching Bachelor stuff.
And here we are.
Right. That's what we have to talk about. We got to talk about. We're not talking about anything American related today.
We're talking about practice.
I just don't get it. Like, why are we so fat? Like, okay, Meghan Markle, I guess, is different because she was an American and she did.
If it was not her, we would not care.
Would we? I mean, we still like. Okay, Princess Diana too was a big deal. Like when she died, and we could talk conspiracy theories on that all day. Did she really get into a car accident? Did they kill her?
Right.
Of course they killed her. It's not even a conspiracy theory. Yes, the royal family killed her. It's. I mean, I think at this point it's public knowledge, but. Like, what? Why are we so involved in this? Why do we give a hot damn?
Because we are still in a pandemic and there's fun stuff to focus on, and that's one of them. Honestly, like, I feel like if we're not in the deal we are today, I don't think this is as big of a newsworthy story, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't think it is because it wouldn't be focused on so much because people get heated. Just like Joe Exotic. I mean, Joe Exotic took over the world for a month. He almost got a presidential pardon.
He was the Tiger King. You see that guy? That bitch, Carol Baskin. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you tell me you didn't watch Tiger King and get excited.
I just said I did. I love Tiger King.
That's what I mean. That was a stupid show. That was horrible.
Well, apparently you can do anything with meth and tigers.
That's what I mean. We're like, dude, Americans have so much more to focus on. Like crazy methamphetamine gay tiger breeder people who happen to be Republicans. Like, dude, we could do a lot with that. But instead we're focused on the royal wedding, I suppose. Which, I mean, if you're all for the royal wedding, God bless you. You know what I mean?
Is it the wedding?
Or not the wedding, but we were focused on the royal wedding too. But I mean,
we had that before. Huh? We already did. We went through that. That was a big deal before. Now we got this. Now it's the royal exit.
That's what the royal exit. I like it. Brexit. But I mean, like, I just don't understand our fascination with it. I think this one is right. Like, I get the whole Princess Diana thing, and I get Meghan Markle at one point in time being an American and doing things. But I mean, why? Why do we give a hot damn?
I don't know. Why do we care about Joe Exotic? I mean, the show is entertaining as hell, but I mean,
I guess there has to be some kind of entertaining aspect to it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and you said
okay, but I mean, think about it for a second though, Keith. This is different. I didn't think about this until just now.
Yeah.
So every girl is told to be a princess, right, and to go marry their prince. And so now this is the only really remaining storyline of being relevant that is the princess marrying a prince. So all of a sudden you do that, and it's this absolute disaster that's coming out. So they're not associated with Disney, but I mean, this is like a Disney horror story.
A Disney horror story. Well, yeah, of course, it's a Disney horror story. They came out like I did not do any research on this. I haven't watched it. I haven't done anything.
I barely looked it up, and I just knew we needed to talk about it because this is crazy.
Well, no, it is crazy. But like, what? Like, so do you think? Okay, so let's move past that now. If I have to care about this, and I want to get into some fun stuff. If we have to care about this, if I'm forced to care about it, what are the chances that there's going to be some type of an assassination attempt on Meghan Markle in the next 4 years? Like, let's over and under that one. Because, dude, look what they do. They're crazy. The royal people are crazy. The royal bloodline, full of nuts.
I'm not commenting on that because I'm scared what the royal family would do to me.
I think you're safe. I think we're safe, Matt. I don't think they're going to come after us.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I respect that. All right, so I
respectfully decline to guess over or under.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with the over under on this one. I say they are gonna try to do something. I mean, maybe not assassination attempt, but they got to silence her at some point. They have to quiet him.
I think there will be I think there will be a publicity assassination attempt, as in her. Sure. That she cannot, they will put something where she means nothing to people anymore because they'll find ways to screw her over. I absolutely believe that. Yes.
And yeah, so I think they have to do damage control on her because she's already been a problem. You know what I mean? Like, she's been a problem for a while, and they're gonna have to do something because they're speaking out, and she's getting Prince Harry to speak out. That right? Am I right on that one?
Oh yeah. No, he's totally defending her. I mean, he moved out of the royal kingdom that was his to be with her. And I mean, I guess you do what you do for your wife, but I mean, that's unheard of. You don't move away from, like the Frozen Palace in the movie there, like they came and saved her, but you don't do that. That's not real life.
You used anything other than a Frozen reference, huh?
I was at Disney 2 weeks ago, and that's what I got for you. But I'm sorry, that's all I got.
That's okay.
I got to brush up on my Cinderella for you, maybe. I don't know. I'll go see if I. Yep.
Nope.
No.
Nope,
okay.
Nope. We're not going to talk about
that one. Doesn't work. You want a Little Mermaid?
Nope. I do like Ari. Oh, Ariel, my bad.
The guy we interviewed last night, you like him?
That was Ari. Sorry, so I butchered his name.
You can't get it right anyways.
What?
You can't get it right either way. It doesn't matter.
I can't, Matt Tift. What's your last name? Say it again, Tiff.
I'm sorry, Oprah, whatever your last name is. Oprah Keith.
You get a podcast. Everybody gets a podcast. Just
in case you don't know, if you want a podcast, just go find Keith on Facebook. He's probably trying to offer you up a podcast.
You know what I am. If you're if you have anything you want to talk about and you want my company to produce you, let me know. Shoot me a pitch and we'll talk about it.
I thought you said we weren't sellouts.
What do you mean? You already done sold out. I'm selling out. You have to sell out.
I don't know, man.
Dude.
Selling out on me, bro.
I didn't sell out on you. I'll still talk to you.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're getting to the end of the show. What else? You want to talk about anything else? What do we got to do here, Keith? You run the show. I messaged you on Facebook for a podcast. What do we do?
All right, guys. Check out our Twitter. Follow me at KeithMyGirl1. Follow Matt at Matt_Tift. That's Matt_TIFFT. For those of you who don't know who he is, check out our Teespring and our merch store. Give us a follow. Just hit the follow button. It's not that hard. Just go to it, follow it.
Fairly simple.
It is really simple. Just
also, please follow at LITFL Show, the Life in the Fast Lane Show. We're trying to grow that page. We host, we keep all of the shows there, so you can always go back and watch any of your favorite shows there, but please share it. We're going to do some contests here to get the
and our wonderful producer left the ticker running with at Legion stuff on there on purpose. I didn't know that, so we left it on purpose. Make sure you follow at Cav Legion. If you guys are into esports or anything like that, check them out. They do awesome stuff. Check out their merch store. I mean, check out mine first, but check out theirs too.
Should we go ahead and find? Should we find? Let's see. Hang on. Should we do Prince Harry's thing to put in the ticker too? Maybe go follow him.
No, don't follow Prince Harry. We're Americans, damn it! I just got done talking about that. No, we're not following Prince Harry. We're following at Keith Migro 1.
Putting people in the ticker, let's put. If somebody else did put in the ticker.
No,
maybe that's a contest. You share the show, and we'll put your name in the ticker.
How about this? No. How about this? If you buy something from the merch store, we'll put your name in the ticker.
Okay. Buy something over $50 in the merch. Just buy something.
Buy something over $437,000 in the merch store. Buy something in the merch store. Tweet it out at Matt, and we'll put your name in the on the ticker, and we'll give you a giant shout out. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
I like it. That's a good idea.
Good idea. We like that.
Yep, we're not selling out. You're selling out.
No, we're selling out, but that's okay. As long as we acknowledge we're sellouts, we're part of the American dream.
We are sellouts.
We are. Guys, we'll be here Thursday.
Third show of the week.
Yeah, third show. Well, we did a special show, so it's,
it's still the third show. I mean, that's a lot of shows in a week.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys, go to the Teespring. Check it out. Team Live. What is it? Life in the Fast Lane in Teespring. My bad. Life in the Fast Lane. Tweet it out. If you bought something, tweet it out at Matt, and we'll put you guys in the comments. Maybe we'll see if we can give you a couple shout outs or whatever in it. So make sure you guys share the hell out of this show. Share it everywhere, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter. Just blast it everywhere. Hit the share button. Annoy people with it. Right? I mean, I'm annoyed that we had to talk about some British crap. So why not?
Well, it is what it is. We talk about sports. We talk about pop culture. Sometimes you don't like the pop culture because it's stupid, but here we are.
It is stupid. It's stupid as hell. But it's all right. Meghan Markle. We're going to see what happens. Prince Harry, God bless her, whatever you people do. And we're good to go. We'll be back Thursday. We'll be back Thursday, 7 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. Check out the store. Follow us. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. See y'all.